At 2:19 a.m., I set off to look into the activities of an illegal abattoir in Medina, Washington, and Accra suburb. A family severely affected by the slaughterhouse waited to take TV3 through its ordeal. The Smani's residence was welcoming by 3:45 a.m. A neighbor operated the illegal abattoir. He did not only rid the Smanis of comfort, but left them with nightmarish tales. Before TV3 Investigates was contacted, they had gone to the police, Food and Drugs Authority, and the Environmental Protection Agency. All three institutions were dead horses. The family took turns to take us through their ordeal. The first victim was Rafia, the fourth of 5 children. Rafia's baby was stillborn at 8 months. Her mother, a midwife, will not mince words.
I believe strongly that it was due to the drugs that she took plenty during the first trimester. And that one to come bring about stillbirth. And the smoke, what it contains in the thigh, burning of the thigh, we have several elements there, and that one is injurious to the health of the patient.
The smoke from the abattoir was connected to the fatal death. She is pregnant again and cannot, for the life of her, put the unborn child and herself through another nerve-wracking episode. This pushed her to film the activities of the abattoir as a lead for TV3 Investigates. So exactly what happened to that pregnancy?
That week when I had the miscarriage, what happened was I couldn't breathe. So I went and I complained. So my sister had to send me to the hospital. They detained me for about 12 hours and they asked me to come home. And that night when I came home, the whole night the man was burning. So early dawn, my breathing ceased. So they had to rush me to the hospital. When I went, I was dehydrated and very weak. I was unconscious, so the 2 days they had to give me drugs. They said they had to save my life first because the baby had died in my stomach.
Her 3-year-old daughter has developed an incurable rash as a result of the smoke billowing from the abattoir.
I was battling with her skin rashes, and I went to the clinic and they said I should watch what she wears and what she eats. So looking at things, I normally wash her school uniform in the evening. Daytime you see black particles, and I never knew it was coming from the thigh bend. So when I observed that and I stopped doing, her skin rashes is gone. And the children's hospital, they gave me drugs and injection for her, and she's now okay.
Scientists draw a link between pollution and asthmatic attacks, premature death, cardiopulmonary disease and cancer. Mercy Smani has asthma. She expends 700 cedis on treatment weekly. The reason for the frequent attack is not far-fetched.
Normally when you have the attack, you will always have to even get in oxygen before you are able, your lungs will open up for you to breathe well. With such a situation, everything, you might not know when even you don't have somebody around to pick you to hospital, you might even die in your room. And asthmatics, certain times you have to buy this inhaler. It's so expensive. You have this Symbicort, which is almost about 500 Ghana cedi, and then this ventilator inhaler is almost 100. So how can you live your life? You collect your salary, and then every month you have to budget for drugs. Because when I have my attack, ever since when I was staying at 37, I never experienced this bouts of attack until I moved in here.
The abattoir has stopped many from moving to the community. Habiba tells us after hearing of Rafia's miscarriage, a neighbor refused to move in with his pregnant wife.
He actually acquired a property over a year. He hasn't moved in because where the activity is taking place is right behind his bedroom window. And he has a pregnant wife. So after listening to my sister's story, he didn't want to take chances. He also has 2 kids, a boy and a girl under the age of 4. So it's injurious to their health. He didn't want to take chances of moving in and having to battle health issues.
Musa Smani, the head of the family, said the entire neighborhood had run out of patience and will take drastic measures if the appropriate bodies refuse to act immediately.
We are not stopping. If we don't get the results, we might have to mobilize a mob action. Because there are such people, that is the language they understand. you use undemocratic means to make sure democracy works.
Oscar bore the brunt most. His walls and rooms are covered in smoke. He was so frustrated he had sold the property.
I decided to sell it because even my small boy is having a problem. I think the area is not good for him. So that's why I decided to sell it.
From dead fetus to intestines, stray dogs carry them around from a gutter close to the abattoir. For majority of residents here, the menace is overbearing. Medina, Washington risks becoming a haunted area as people sell or abandon their properties. Odile Fori, TV3 investigates.